he'll be back this summer. Definitely. We'll do something fun.
Coming soon to a power bourbon near you.
If we get more subscribers. So
Dr. Brian.
Click. Oh, we'll never live that down. He has to wear the cushy hat every single time. That's what it is. Pincushion Brian. Tonight we're going to review a bottle that we picked up. Well, mainly I picked up because I missed out on
the bottle or the whiskey in the bottle.
No, just the bottle.
Okay,
I missed out on this
the assignment
last year, and I was really sad because I was like, "This is the most amazing thing ever." I mean, we say that about like 50 or 60 bottles.
TJ says that about everything that comes out new.
Pretty much. Chuck, of course, got a bottle, and we tried it, and we very much enjoyed it. So when I saw it this year, I naturally just instantly grabbed it. No questions asked, tried it. It was delightful. So naturally, Chuck was like, "I haven't seen it around here. Could you pick me up a bottle?" So I picked him up a bottle, gave it to him. So now we're both going to try the bottle that I have the biggest problem with, but I'm excited I have it. So tonight we are trying Hirsch Single Barrel. So it is the 2023 Single Barrel, which is the Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey Double Oak. This is bottle 73 at 255. Comes in at 128.2 proof. Here's my problem with it. It is a single barrel from a blend of two bourbons. One is 8 years, and that is a 95% of the blend. And the other is 3 years, and that is 5% of the blend. Now, if you don't know, because I didn't know, so I had to do a bunch of research, there is no legal term for single barrel, just like small batch. Small batch means nothing. I can do
basically call it whatever we want.
Right, exactly. So after lots of discussion, what Chuck and I decided they're probably doing is they're blending, and then they're pouring it in the double oak barrel, and then they're pouring out of the double oak barrel and calling it a single barrel. So technically, the blend came out of a single barrel, and so they can still call it a single barrel, which is not unheard of in Scotland with whiskeys. They've been doing that. There are actually some legal challenges and things like that currently going on over there about this same topic. But as far as Hirsch is concerned, it is a single barrel of straight bourbon whiskeys, double oaked.
Yeah. I mean, the Hirsch Single Barrel last year, the 6 year I put it in my top 10 of the year.
Mm-hmm.
I think it lived up to it. And yeah, the whole single barrel thing here is, if you would ask me what a single barrel means, it means a distillate goes into a single barrel. And then that distillate is what goes into, unadulterated is what goes into the bottle. I say unadulterated. I mean, obviously, some single barrels are diluted down with water, but that's it. That's it. Not mixing any other. Now, if you were to mix two different mash bills at the time of barreling, maybe I'd still give you a pass.
Yeah, I'd say it's just one of those.
But otherwise,
once it goes in the barrel, whatever comes out of said barrel,
as White Dog.
Yeah, it goes in the rick house. Whatever comes out, you can even take that and pour that directly into another barrel. And then I would be okay with still calling it a single barrel. But once we blend two barrels together, I'm starting to have problems.
Agreed. Now, this is a small percentage. So it's kind of like the wine world. It's like you can call it a Cabernet, but have a percent of grapes that are not Cabernet. This is very common. So even though it says Cabernet, there's probably a small percentage of grapes in there that are Merlot or Malbec or Cabernet Franc but they're still, although there's set rules there as well, set percentages that they are allowed to put in there. So it doesn't, and this is one of, Fred Minnick, Bourbon Pursuits, like they complain about this on the lack of transparency or laws around both finishing in particular, and in this case it is finishing, but also the labeling. Like this as a consumer, I don't want to call it deceiving, but it's just we're unsure about what exactly the process was. So
yeah, I feel like this bottle labeling is the epitome of where we are right now in the bourbon world, which is everybody wants a single barrel because you can never find it again. And right now, double oaking is king. So they're just like, we'll call it a single barrel double oak to everybody. Well, that's like it's how we do YouTube stuff. Like I look filter. And like, what are the keywords that everybody's searching? And I make sure like that's how you get some crazy like best of top double oak, top 5 bourbon in the world. And everybody clicks. So that's what they got a good marketing team.
So on the nose, under $40.
Yeah, no, it was $100. $99.99.
Okay, sorry. Yeah. All that aside, let's rate this whiskey.
Yeah. So on the nose, like I get a little bit of dirt, but also a lot of oak and a little bit of cherry.
Such a great lead. You're like, oh, I just get dirt.
It's an earthy note. Like it's very. I've only ever got it on Hirsch stuff, which is interesting. But there's just like this little bit of earthy
Hirsch
note.
Stuff do you get this on? You got that
I
on my single barrel?
Yeah, on your single barrel.
I do get a little earthiness, maybe a mustiness, dustiness. I'd probably rephrase it as opposed to dirt.
Fair enough. Yeah. I'm unsophisticated. I go back to my civil engineering days. Soil. Yeah.
Well, of course, because dirt's just soil out of place.
But it's not a strong nose. Like that's the interesting thing. I would expect a little bit of a stronger nose. It's a little light, a little hidden back there, but there is a little bit of caramel, a little bit of vanilla, of course, because that's always there. But it's mainly oak and a little earthiness.
Yeah, no, definitely the dustiness definitely dominates the nose. Mm-hmm. I'm a bit surprised because the 6-year last year had such a this like candy sweet, and then a little bit of like a Four Roses floral note come through on the nose, and I'm searching for it, but I'm not getting it.
No, I would say if anything, there's a little bit of like a cherry skin back in the back.
Yeah, I get now that it sits just a touch, I do get a little bit of cherry, but definitely muted with the double oaked is giving some of that musty character.
And for being 128 proof, I'm not getting any ethanol or like even just jamming my nose in there. I'm not getting a lot of alcohol vapors, which makes it like instantly this could be dangerous.
Oh, that palate. How do you even describe that? It's a candy. It's like a candied peach with a bit of cinnamon. Oh wow! Just a great texture. Yeah, to me, I just picture like when I taste it, I just get this like envision of a hard candy.
So automatically for me, it's going to get like pushed up ahead because it's got a nice viscous, caramely, syrupy quality to it.
Biscuit.
And before getting into any of the other flavors, like as soon as you drink it, you know it's high proof. There's no question anymore about that. And then the finish, it just lingers forever. It does not stop. It's all in the jawline. Everything you could want.
To me, I almost think it tastes more like a Four Roses to me. It's got, with that sweet, it's got this like little bit of like what I think of as that Four Roses floral character in the palate. But you're spot on there with the viscosity and like it just coats your mouth, and then the finish just lasts for days. This is one you could probably have a 1 ounce pour and it would last you an hour because you're just gonna enjoy it. Like one sip is just gonna sit there for minutes. You're just gonna enjoy it.
Slight cinnamon burn. I mean, it's not so much that it's a red hot or anything like that. It's like a red hot crossed with a black pepper, and it's just great. It just keeps going and going and going, and oh my gosh, this is really, really good.
I like the juxtaposition from the transition from the nose to the palate finish. It's like you get that kind of musty oak character, and now that it's opened a little bit, like I do get a little bit of that sweetness floral note on the nose, but it's still just like that earthy, musty, dusty note from the oak barrel. on the nose, and then you get into the palate, and it's like, oh, that's the Hirsch. It reminds me a lot of the Hirsch 6-year. It's that sweet candied floral note, great viscosity, and then that finish is just, Brian would be jealous of that finish.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it goes like for me, so in the beginning of the palate, it goes maraschino, cherry, like sweet old fashioned into a Four Roses barrel strength, and then a little bit of dirt and soil kind of like mixed in to then a nice peppery cinnamon finish that then just lasts forever. Like there's so many different complexities and everything to it. I just don't know where like the double oaked part comes in. Like usually with the double oaked, I'm getting a little bit of new oak flavor or a lot of sweetness into it. But I don't get like, you could give this to me and I would have thought it was truly a single barrel.
Well, I think that's true, right? Like, because I think we get some of the double oak character. It's not so when you say double oak, that could mean a lot of things. Mm-hmm. So that could mean a freshly toasted barrel, which gives you that like new American toasted oak character. That like the new Lou that we tasted did that overpoweringly. So like not good to the not good side. But this I think is like, it's either it was a charred barrel. I guess we don't have details on the finishing barrel necessarily, but it comes through on the nose. Like that is the finishing barrel.
I gotcha.
And then I get it coming through on the end of the palate as it transitions into the finish. There's still some of that bitter, dusty note. You called it soil. That to me is reminiscent of the finishing barrel. Now I agree with you that like you could have these same taste profiles in a standard bourbon.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing in here that says to me, like when I tasted it, if I tasted it blind, not knowing what it was, I wouldn't have said finished. Yeah. I wouldn't have said toasted. I wouldn't have said double oaked. But now that you know it, there's some of those characteristics are there.
I'm going to say it. This is without a doubt probably the best bourbon I've tasted so far into 2023. It's going to be in our best of. Somebody's going to put it in there without a doubt. And it's one I'm glad that I got Chuck his own bottle and I don't have to send him a sample because this is good. I know where
I drink all mine before we send our samples in October.
Well, I was just going to say, I know where there's 2 more bottles and like, I am slightly tempted to go buy 2 more bottles.
Oh, I was like, is that because they're in your closet or?
Yeah. It's that good. I think like we haven't tried any of the other Hirsch stuff. Maybe we should do that. Let us know in the comments below if you're interested in what the other Hirsch products are.
Bivouac. I'd love to hear you try to pronounce that one.
What? I don't know.
The Bivouac.
I still can't say Ambarura correctly. So yeah, we're way out there. But I can honestly say for 2 years in a row, the Hirsch single barrels are where it's at. If you're not going to buy any other Hirsch product, just buy their single barrel. I think this is just absolutely amazing. It is one of the few ones that at $100, I can say, I think it's well priced where it is. And I'm generally one that I say it should be $10 a year. And this is 8, we'll call it 9 years old. So it's really not that far off. So for me, it's not only a buy. I feel like this is a must buy. I'm never going to really say like bunker because that's just crazy sauce. But definitely a must buy, open it up, instantly try it, and then you can decide for yourself if you want to buy a backup.
I agree with you, TJ. I mean, I've very much enjoyed the Hirsch 6-year single barrel. People that chase purple tops from Willet claim that the Hirsch 6-year is very similar. I haven't had a lot of purple tops, so I can't make that comparison. I just know this stuff's good. It is unique in that floral, it's got that candied floral note that is a bit uncharacteristic of Kentucky bourbon to me. So Four Roses probably leans closest to that, at least what I've had. So if you like that, you're going to like this profile. I agree with you, TJ. It's a buy instantly. Appreciate you snagging this one for me. And yeah, it's definitely going to be in our best of 2023. So we'll get to revisit this in a few months.
As long as we both don't drink them. That'll be the only problem.
We could make a
So,
pact that we'll drink it all, and so Brian doesn't get a taste.
ooh, there we go. So with that, let us know below. Have you picked up a Hirsch before? Have you tried any of the single barrels? If you have Hirsch, like what's your favorite Hirsch product? And maybe we'll review it. But cheers, and we'll see you next time.
Power Bourbon.